What's the dumbest reason a job ever fired you? Not fired but let go with severance. CFO told me to make up historical reports because they weren't done in the past, but now required, and wanted to show how so much better metrics are now than in the past. What they were asking for was literally not possible to do since the data was not tracked to what they were asking, and wanted to tweak the past numbers into a full-on made-up breakdown. I told the controller I wasn't comfortable doing this. Next week got paid out. A month later I found out the CFO was canned. Worked at a Foot Locker way back. Manager says to me, "Hey, if you have some free time this weekend, another store could use some help. Let me know if you are able to help out." I turned that down as I had other plans on the weekend. Show up on Monday and he asks why I didn't show up to help out the other store over the weekend? I reminded him I said no and that I had other plans on the weekend. "Man, you should have told me that before. They were expecting you to show up and help out. Since you didn't show, I'm going to have to write you up for that and let HQ know." Got fired after that shift ended. Stole some shoes and clothes, walked out and never went back there again. As a consultant, a company ended my contract early. Not fired, but let go? I was hired by the company to help them save money. I did indeed help them cut costs in areas that were not needed. Help restructure some areas and help consolidate key parts of the business. Without having to fire anyone or let anyone else go. Some people did move to full-time status to part-time. The company did not like this. They thought they were just going to let people go and continue as normal. No. They ended the contract early. Joke's on them, I still get paid and billed the same if I was there for a day or for the full time allotted of 3 months. I worked 1 month and got paid for 3. So put that down your pipe and smoke it. I was a service shop apprentice as part of my vocational school internship program. I was required to complete some months of work in order to get my diploma, but so did everybody else, so trade school internships are unpaid. So I worked at a dealership for 6 straight months with no pay. Near the end of the internship, the rest of my co-workers begged the manager to hire me and keep me there, but he thought he could just keep on getting free labor from the endless stream of kids coming out of trade schools needing to complete their mandatory work hours. So I was let go, and in the following year they went through multiple free apprentices who in their words simply didn't cut it. For one reason or another they just couldn't provide the same level of work as I did, and they didn't gel with the rest of the employees in there like I did. Most of them didn't even get to complete their mandatory 6-month period and were cut short. Productivity tanked as for close to a year the experienced mechanics had to routinely stop what they were doing and do assistant tasks instead, which are simple but essential to the smooth operation of a workshop. This was just one of the manager's bright ideas to save on operating costs and try to appear good to upper management. However, in practice, in his attempt to cut corners for a few $100 here and there, the store's productivity and overall revenue tanked, and they saw a lot of loyal customers abandon them. The manager was fired around a year after I was. I still visit my old co-workers from time to time because we actually had great chemistry and a pleasant work environment. They have asked me to come back, but my current job pays better and they're not willing to match that. One of my first jobs after military was at a mom-and-pop computer store putting PCs together for orders. I had some hardware training in the Navy, and it isn't even that hard to figure out really. So I was slaying it, throwing boxes out as the orders came in or display computers got sold. I started getting some cash saved up, so I was like, fuck it, I'll support where I work and get a machine through them. I asked how much their computers sold for and what upgrades were available. They fired me the next day because they thought I was a plant from a competitor. They assumed because I was doing way better than expected and asking all these questions I was spying for someone. I was like, ooh, what? Had no idea what to say. State is right to hire or whatever it is, so there wasn't much I could have done even if I had the resources to. I still laugh about my James Bond job though. I got fired from a supervisor job at an amusement park because I was too friendly with the staff. The staff member in question was my girlfriend, and had been my girlfriend the day we both came in and applied for jobs at the same time with the same person who fired me. We just didn't like each other, which was fine. In hindsight, I think he had a thing for my GF. Joke was on him though, The woman who ran the cash office had used me as a temp fill-in several times, counting money and manning the window that supervisors came to for change. I ran into her while I was turning in my radio and she offered me a full-time job on the spot. So I went from walking around outside in 90-degree weather with high humidity dealing with crowds of dipshits to sitting in an air-conditioned office all day, and unlike the previous job I could now coordinate breaks so my GF and I could eat meals and hang out even more. Was working at Casey's. Fools in Missouri love Casey's pizza. Anyway, I was working a night shift, a new kid working the kitchen. It was his first job. That night we got mobbed and we had like 3 hours wait times on our pizza. I had worked at a pizza place before, so I'm running from register to kitchen, trying to make pizza and check out customers. By the end of the shift I was covered in flour and a million complaints had come through. Show up the next morning and my boss says there was money missing from your drawer. I said I didn't take anything. Watch the camera, he said I did, and I know you didn't, but you're still fired. I lit the motherfucker up and let him know what a worthless piece of shit is and that, in fact, none of these young female employees want anything to do with your fat, dip-filled tooth missing mouth. Left and had a seizure. Fuck Casey's.